Welcome to the I Hate Critics Movie Review Podcast. I'm professional film critic Sean Patrick. Hi, Jeff.
Hola.
You can find us, of course, on all the various different social media sites, the Face Twit and the whatnot and the Who's Its. Just go there and search the I Hate Critics. And of course, if you go to our Facebook page, you can send messages to Jeff about his art.
Yeah, please do. And we'll work something out.
Good.
And then, yeah. Sorry, I'm a little over-shalamated right now.
Oh, it happens. It happens. I'm sure he is too. After walking out of the Oscars early, apparently.
Oh.
You haven't heard about this?
No, I didn't hear about that.
Apparently, after he lost Best Actor, him and his Kardashian left.
Oh, poor little baby. Fucking idiot.
I can't confirm the exact timing of it or anything. I did see a video of them and and there was somebody speculating that he'd left after his award. It could be a lie, but I mean, he was leaving the building and the show was still happening, so it appears to be true. Meanwhile, Michael B. Jordan wins and he celebrates the In-N-Out burger.
Oh yeah, that's tradition though.
I like Michael B. Jordan a lot. He's the only one I got right.
Really?
No, I got Sean Penn too, but
okay.
I was off most of the night. Yeah, it was not a good night for picks at the Academy Awards, which occurred on Sunday. I thought for sure, Jeff, that Sinners was a shoo-in to win Best Picture, and it didn't happen. And I was like, oh God, what's gonna happen? And then everybody seems fine with it. So all right, okay.
I was too, honestly, and I was trying to explain to somebody, I'm like, anybody could have made One Battle After Another. It wouldn't have been, quite the same, but only Ryan Coogler could have made Sinners the way it was. I was surprised. I was honestly surprised after, how the momentum was going there for it. I was shocked. I did post on our page my ballot, and I was shocked at the fact that Marty Supreme got completely shut out.
You thought I would get something?
I thought I would get something, just because they tend to love that kind of thing. I did a little better than you did, I guess, with my picks, but yeah, I missed Best Director, Best Picture. I did get Best Actress and Best Actor, Best Supporting Actress. Those are my picks, not who I necessarily thought was going to win.
Yeah.
I did pick that One Battle After Another would get Best Adapted Screenplay, although I wanted it to be Hamnet. Best Original Screenplay I got right with Sinners. I missed all the ones I didn't see, like the shorts and the documentaries and stuff.
I did see those, and I still got them wrong. So
really,
most people got best documentary wrong because that was a bit of an upset. Mr. Nobody versus Putin was not expected to beat The Perfect Neighbor, and so that was a pretty big upset in that category. And I can't say I know much about the short films, but I did watch them, and I did. So I had a good idea of who I thought should win, and that's what I went with, and I got it wrong. I guess I got Jesse Buckley too. I got Michael B. Jordan and Sean Penn, but I only got 14 right out of the whole night if I'm lucky, which I think there was 22 to guess, and that's not a great percentage.
I got Best Costume Design and Best Editing correct. Then I got Best Original Score, Makeup and Hairstyling, Production Design, Sound, and then that was it. So yeah. of my picks that I wanted rather than what they, what I thought they would do. So
Mhm. I
yeah,
did guess
overall,
I did guess the in memoriam correctly, so there's that.
yeah. Did you see all the dust up this week about who didn't get picked? It happens every year, but
Yeah, yeah.
people are mad
James
that
Vanderbeek gets
yeah.
skipped.
And they were some people were actually mad that Hulk Hogan, star of Suburban Commando, didn't get picked. Um,
Wow.
yeah. Bruce Valanche posted about that, like some of the people who didn't get picked, and he said that he was not surprised that, but he was happy that Bridget Bardot didn't get picked. And people were mad at him about that. And he was like, "Look, I wasn't the Nazi; she was." Be mad at
Yeah.
her, but people love
Mhm.
Nazis nowadays, apparently. So,
Well, and then
um,
you add in that, like James Vanderbeek's wife is an anti-vaxxer. That might have something to do.
mhm.
Maybe, I don't know.
Well, also,
Not to, not to over speculate, but
I've never gotten a definitive answer whether you have to be a member of the academy to be involved.
mhm.
Um, but that is some of the speculation as to why people like Bud Cort was not um, included, and he may have lapsed from the academy. Eric Dane and Vanderbeek, they were primarily television actors, even though Vanderbeek had a couple notable film credits. Um, a few other people like Bridget Bardot. I don't think anybody really cared. Uh, honestly,
She worked
um,
pretty hard to destroy her legacy, apparently. So,
I mean, even her kids hate her. So,
and
or her son.
I doubt Hulk Hogan kept up his SAG card.
No, somebody posted the last thing he was in was that Pro Ice video, so fuck him. Which I thought was pretty funny. Yeah, I the thing about like you're never going to be able to include everybody,
Yeah.
and that's why they do the for more people that we lost, visit the website, which I think is fine. I think they did a really we lost some really big people in the last year,
Yeah,
and
it's kind of you forget just how huge it was. I mean, obviously Rob Reiner, and
Mhm.
then there's Diane Keaton, and then there was Robert Redford at the end, and it's like, wow, I just
Yeah,
totally didn't even. Not that I didn't remember that they passed away, but it's like that just all in a
well,
1 year period. That's three massive names.
and Robert Duvall, I
Yeah.
somebody said that the reason they didn't do one of those tributes for him like they did with the others was because he just died too late. They wanted to make sure they included him because he was honestly one of the best actors of our lifetime.
Hmm.
Um,
And an Academy Award winner.
yeah, I think that Bud Cort, if it's an Academy thing, he could still be in it next year. That it just was very like that was I think the part that landed the best for me this year.
Hmm.
Um, as far as the production went, was the in memoriam, which rarely is the best part of the show.
It was very
Um,
emotional. I started crying
yeah,
during Barbara's songs. I'd heard
yeah,
that she's not able to even really sing anymore, and she put her whole heart into that.
yeah.
Given all of the challenges that she's had, and considering what it was about,
Mhm.
that was very beautiful.
Did you hear that people were like mad at Jane Fonda again because she jokingly said she goes, "I did 4 movies with him. She only did one. Why didn't they ask me to do it?" And she was said it tongue in cheek. Like they're like cool and whatever, but people were saying that she was bitter and all this and calling her Hanoi Jane again.
Well,
It's like,
that's because she's even more of or even more of an advocate today than she was in the 70s.
yeah, right.
She's a
Oh,
badass. I love her.
me too. Talk about somebody who puts their fame to good use.
Hell yeah.
Um, and I just yeah, it was there was a few emotional times during the show. I gotta say my favorite award of the night was Amy Madigan. Um,
Mhm.
I it's no secret how much I loved Weapons and how much I love Aunt Gladys. And She is really the breakout of that movie. I don't think without her, I don't think the movie works as well because I rewatched it again.
Mm-hmm.
Just that bad shit plot with her and the look and the jump scares with her. I think that she really made weapons. So I'm really super,
That
super, super happy that she won.
shot of Zach Kreger in the audience crying was lovely.
Hmm.
That was really great. He's watching her speech and it just tears in his eyes. That's lovely. It's lovely to see that.
Yeah. And I think I saw a lot of uh, just discussion about Teyana Taylor and how she was acting about the other nominees and whatever, and how she somebody said they thought she was faking it when she was so happy for Amy Madigan. They don't understand these people they are on the circuit from the time the nominations are announced until the ceremony, and then after parties and whatever, and they become friends. They get to know each other. They hype each other up, and none of them are super angry that the other one. I loved that Teyana Taylor is sitting right next to Leonardo DiCaprio when Michael B. Jordan won, and she was, jumping out of her seat and
She was doing that all night. Like, she was
super
really
happy for
excited
him.
for everybody. Like, I
Yeah,
was really enjoying seeing her. The cuts to her were some not cuts to her, but like just she wasn't like she's not even on camera most of the time. The
yeah.
camera just happens to pick up that there's that because she's in the front row. She's a nominee, and she's just excited for everybody.
Mhm.
Who could possibly be upset with that?
Oh, yes.
Good God.
I loved her energy. I love the fact that she was hyping up everybody and was just super happy for everybody and happy to be there. And I thought that was great. And fuck the haters, I guess.
Yeah, that's really a very silly thing.
Yeah.
Um, I loved what Conan did. I thought Conan did a great job, but the two shots at Netflix during the piece were just phenomenal. That
This is what a
first,
theater is like.
yeah, the first shot of Ted Sarandos being in a theater for the first time, and then that Casablanca bit was
Mhm.
hysterical because too many times I've seen movies stopping down to restate their plot and to
Yeah.
reintroduce their characters and how they're connected to each other. Oh my god, I could not stop laughing because that was just yeah, that is totally just uh, studios going. Audiences are dumb and they have phones, so
Yeah.
like if you can't keep up with the movie, that's on you, man.
Yeah. And I'm gonna, I appreciate Ted Sarandos for having a sense of humor about it because he seemed to be really in on it,
Hmm.
on the joke, and the fact that he's not kind of bending the knee like some of the other studio heads are, I thought was refreshing. So I'm glad he has a sense of humor about the fact that he's ruined movies. But yeah, I overall, I don't think it was as snappy. I think that some people like Anna Wintour, I know that she was subbing for Meryl Streep because rumor has it that Meryl Streep and Martin Short are actually dating, and she wanted to be with him over his daughter's death. Um, that's the rumor. I don't know if it's true or not, but allegedly she was supposed to be in Anna Wintour's spot, and she filled in at the last minute. Um, and a lot of people weren't sure if she was in on the joke or if she just really didn't know who Anne Hathaway was when she called her Emily. I was like, no, I think she's smart enough to be in on the joke. I don't think she's,
Oh,
you know,
she also chose a name of somebody else in the movie, so I'm assuming she
yeah,
got the joke.
yeah, that's yeah. So there were very few things that I really loved about it this year. Mostly the winners. I liked Kieran Culkin's little dig at Sean Penn. Um, that was pretty funny. And only it's like one of those things that only he could probably get away with, because he's just got that kind of sense of humor, and his Succession character that seemed pretty on brand um, for him. But
Yeah, apparently Sean Penn is back in Ukraine right now. He's been flying back and forth to Ukraine regularly to take supplies and to support the Ukrainian people, which is quite
Yeah,
it's quite admirable. And that's certainly far more important to be doing than going to the Oscars. So I get it. I don't blame him at
yeah.
all for not being there.
No,
In the end, it doesn't matter. It's the
oh,
Oscars,
yeah.
like
This is for people who love the movies, and it's a good distraction from the shit show that we are living in right now. And
Mhm.
like he said in the show, he said, this encompasses dozens of countries around the world, and that it's an effort. It's a worldwide effort to do something that means so much to so many people, and that's what it's all about. Well, even while we're bombing and killing in the name of a king, um, it's that's kind of why we're all watching. So, um, yeah, I mean, overall, I was fairly happy that with the winners. I was surprised by a couple. Like I really once Ryan Coogler got best screenplay, I was pretty sure he was not going to get best director.
Hmm. So I was of the other mind that I guess that I just thought that 16 nominations meant something. On top of which, like this is a movie about black people, and it's a mostly black cast and black director with a black leading man, and it's been so long. They've screwed up so many times on this front of trying to failing to honor the movies that have predominantly black cast. And I thought, okay, finally they're not going to screw it up this time. I know they did Moonlight a few years ago, but that's
Yeah,
like. But that's like that thing where you let one through and then you can stop the other ones. And I feel like one of Sinners is that one of the other ones now. Oh, hey, we did Moonlight. We don't have to do it again. Uh,
yeah.
and we almost didn't do Moonlight. We tried to give that to white people. Uh,
Oh,
uh,
I
I would just I felt like a layup to me to finally this is the year to do this. You've given it 16 nominations, like this is the year to do this. And I guess I didn't take into account how many times that Paul Thomas Anderson hasn't won in the past, which was a lot.
yeah,
And certainly they love to make you earn it in Hollywood, and this seems to be one of those make you earn it Oscars. I keep doing that and diminishing One Battle After Another, and I love One Battle After Another. I think it's a great movie. We talked very lovingly of that film when it came up on the show, and I do love that movie. It was in my top 10. It was in my top
hmm,
5 for fuck's sake. I just don't. I just thought Sinners was better and more deserving in the end, and I thought, okay, surely they can't get this wrong. And then I feel like they got it wrong. Although I guess I'm alone. I've not seen any blowback online about Best Picture. So, I mean, that's fine with me because it's a great movie. I'm just saying. I thought this would be the moment for that.
yeah. I was really I didn't even watch the speech. I was at my sister's house and it was snowing, and I was like, I saw it, I'm like, yep, and I'm out of here. Not that it wasn't a good movie. It was a good movie. It was also it was a movie that wasn't it didn't break any new ground. It wasn't. It was something that I don't want to say I've seen it, but I've seen it. You know what I mean? It wasn't so different from the stuff that I saw last year.
Hmm.
That's why Sinners and Weapons were my favorite, because I just thought they were so different from what we get. Um, yeah, I didn't when One Battle won, I was disappointed and a little surprised, more disappointed, but just based on the Academy's track record. Um, but I know they got Michael B. Jordan completely 100% correct. Um, Nobody deserved it more than he did, and if they'd given it to little timpani Kardashian or whatever, I would have been really, really pissed. So It was really also refreshing to see Mikey Madison not screeching her way through something.
Oh my God. Let her go, dude.
Oh, that was just for you.
There were complaints about the sound, which yeah, the didn't seem like the sound team was doing a very good job, especially during the musical moments.
Oh,
Like when you had Barbara doing her best to sing, and they've not got her mic'd properly, and then you've got the obviously Sinners didn't sound quite right, the song performance. And I don't think it
yeah.
was them. I think it was just the sound mix was bad. And K-pop Demon Hunter is the same way, which
Hmm.
another one I got wrong, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, them cutting
how
off.
that beats the Sinners song, I don't know. I don't know how that happens, but I guess give Netflix something. I guess.
Yeah, and them cutting off the well, I didn't get his name. Them cutting him off in the middle of his speech really pissed me off
I mean,
because he.
just you gotta just elect one speaker and have them do all the talking. I just
Yeah, but it was just like he got up there and then they lowered his microphone on him. I was like, wow, that's shitty. So
He was also the third person of a 3-person group that was doing a speech. I don't
yeah.
have that much sympathy. Um, I want everybody to just get up on stage, say thank you, and walk away if they could. It's less cringy that way. I
Well,
don't have to hear about somebody thanking their team.
yeah, when they give Adrian Brody like a full solid like 6 minutes, and then they can't give somebody 30 seconds, I'm just like, go fuck yourselves.
I'm fine with the third guy from the best short film getting cut off. Oh, I think the world will continue
Yes, yes.
without those words. Um, yeah, overall, it was a good show. I really would struggle to try and find anything that I would be upset about. I'm not upset Sinners lost. Like I said, I loved One
Oh,
Battle After Another. That was great. It's just I thought Sinners for sure was going to win, so I picked it everywhere. And then it didn't. What did he get? 4 out of 16, which is just
yeah.
stunning. That's a stunner. That's a bit of a shock. I did love that they got best cinematography. They did get that one
Hmm.
right. And the first woman to win the cinematography Oscar is on top of that being a black woman is just pretty incredible. But again, it's also like a spotlight on just how bad their track record has been.
Yeah,
Not the cinematographers, but Hollywood in general, and just
yeah.
making any type of diverse hiring decisions.
Did you see when Ryan Coogler went up and grabbed her son so he could be close and she could
Yeah,
see him?
that was
That was
cute.
so cute. I like that. I'm also a little upset though that best song did not go to Megan for This Woman's Work.
It's, that's still number one in our hearts, Jeff.
I mean, best comedic moment of 2025, hands down. I told somebody that hadn't seen it, I'm like, you got to watch it. You got to watch it all the way through, and you got to watch her song because she sings in it. And she's like, she sings in it. She comes back the next day to work. She goes, "Oh my fucking god!" She sings Kate Bush in that song or in that movie. I was like, "Yep."
Oh my god!
Oh,
I can just still hear the opening note, and that just sent me. Like, yeah, that opening note just sent me.
oh, so perfect.
It's still hilarious today.
Yeah. Oh. Any other Oscar thoughts?
um, mm, like I said, there wasn't really any big um controversies in my eyes. I don't, people are always going to try and find something to complain about. I bet since you left, you probably didn't see Conan's closing bit.
I did not.
So after the whole thing, they cut to Conan talking to the head of the academy, I believe it was, and talking about being
Oh, oh, oh,
the
yeah, I
host for
did see that. I
life.
did see that. Yeah, I
Okay,
did see that. That was pretty funny.
the Christmas adventurers scene at the end of One Battle After Another is what that was, and it was so fucking great.
Yeah, because I actually went at when they won. I went and got my stuff. I had some stuff in the other room, and I came back. I was putting my shoes on and talking to my sister, and I saw that, and she's like, "What is this about?" And I'm like, "Oh, you got to watch One Battle After Another." And then the last one, Mr. Beast, host for life, and I was like, "Yeah, put him in that room."
Yeah. The Oscars are start on YouTube starting next year.
Oh,
Mr. Beast isn't exactly the kind of host that would go for because he has no personality.
oh
But
yeah, yeah. Everybody gets a candy bar though.
yeah.
Mm.
All right. Let's see. Let's talk about the new movies, shall we?
Oh, sure. There were new
There
movies.
aren't any. Let's moving on. No, we'll start with the one I saw that I don't think you saw called Reminders of Him. This one stars Maika Monroe and Tyriq Withers from Him, and it's based on a book by Colleen Hoover, the ever controversial Colleen Hoover. Controversial in that she's not a very good writer, but her books are very popular. Um,
Yeah.
and the story is that this woman, played by Maika Monroe, goes to prison on a manslaughter charge. She was driving drunk when her boyfriend Scotty was killed, and she walked away from the scene and was found far away later and arrested. And this leads to a pretty large misunderstanding. You can probably guess by now. But after 5 years in prison, she's allowed out on parole, and she returns back to this place, Laramie, Wyoming, where she wants to see her daughter because while she was in jail, she gave birth. She didn't know she was pregnant the night of the accident. But she immediately has to give that baby up, obviously, to his parents, played by Lauren Graham and Bradley Whitford, who do not ever want to see her again because she killed their son. She returns to this town, though, and she's looking for a job, and she stumbles into this bar that is owned by Tyriq Withers. And unbeknownst to her, that's Scotty's best friend. Scotty's best friend was in the NFL at the time that Scotty died, and so they didn't know each other. And she meets him and she knows the name. And when she hears his name, it's like, oh shit, that's Scotty's best friend. And she tries to leave and get away from him, but they keep bumping into each other because they're destined to fall in love. And obviously, that's going to be a very complicated thing. Conveniently, he also lives directly across the street from her daughter and Scotty's parents. And as a big part of the daughter's life, the daughter, by the way, the name. Amy just walked in. Don't laugh. Nobody wants to hear you. The baby's name is DM for Carpe Diem.
Oh,
Shut up.
for fuck's sake. Amy, you can laugh. I don't care.
And so, yeah, that's the baby's name is DM. And
and I thought Frida McFadden was a hack.
Yeah, it's complicated. She wants to go see her kid. The parents don't want her there, and she's falling in love with his best friend who's involved in the kid's life, and he's trying to hide that he's falling in love with her from the parents so they don't get mad at him. But then he's going to be obviously the bridge to bring them all back together. And it's all as predictable as that sounds. It's pretty. And I did cry watching the movie because they have this scene where this, 5-year-old girl who's never seen either her real mom or her real dad, getting a chance to meet her mom for the first time and not really understanding the circumstances of it. And they did this little thing where they told her, and it's such a 5-year-old thing because I've actually heard like 5-year-olds say stuff like this. They told her that her mom couldn't come to her soccer games because she didn't have a big enough car, and she asks her, "Did you finally get a big enough car?" And it's just like that's good, like that's good. And Maika Monroe is a hell of a good actor. She's incredible. Like she's been in so many great horror films. Like she brings a little bit of grit to this character that wouldn't be there on the page. And that moment with her face and this little kid asking her this question that she doesn't understand, but she's trying. And it was lovely. It's a lovely scene, and I teared up. But beyond that, like if you'd given me a bingo card when I walked in, I could have had bingo by like the start of the third act by the number of things I predicted were going to happen that happened. It's not an original film by any way. It's not a very complicated film. And once you remember that all of this is being manipulated by a writer, which is hard to forget, you start to lose kind of like it kind of feels masochistic how she treats
Okay.
these characters because she already knows,
Yeah.
she's already decided going in there's going to be a happy ending. So then it just becomes a series of like masochistic torture the way to a happy ending.
Oh, yeah, sounds about right for a Colleen Hoover book. I talked to
It's
my boss about her, and
yeah.
she said that all her books are just like Freedom McFadden. They're all the same. They are vaguely seem like they're plagiarized, and they all kind of are about the strong connection of family and whatever. Sorry,
I
I
wonder
missed it.
I wonder if she's like regularly cheating on somebody because all her books, all of the movies about her made from her books are about people cheating. And I'm
Yeah.
like, is she like dealing with some sort of like guilt for cheating on a partner? Because she keeps doing this over and over again. And no, there was a reason why they cheated, and they had a very good reason to do it. And
Oh Lord.
it's very
Yeah.
funny to me. Um, I yeah, this movie's not good. It's not a good movie. I can't recommend it, even though I did get emotional about it. But there's also the thing of like using a child to try and force emotions that wouldn't otherwise be there. Um, there's a there's a trope that's long been in a child in danger movies used to use this trope where they would just place a child in a situation where the child was in danger, and obviously that's going to involve the audience regardless because it's a child in danger. You don't have to do anything good to draw sympathy for a child. And the same goes kind of here is like it's not hard to feel bad for a kid that is dealing with this situation,
Yeah.
getting their mom for the first time and not knowing why they didn't have her all this time. Like that's going to draw emotions from you regardless of the plot.
Well, and that's the like emotional manipulation that these kind of books do. And when they turn them into movies, they're the same. It's the same. Um, it's just okay. It's like a blender or one of those pick your own plots kind of flip chart things. Um, and I feel like that's what she does. That's what Frida McFadden does too. I mean, even though The Housemaid was great,
Mhm.
it was her books are very much like the, pick a plot device and pick another one and let's do a whole other 180. So yeah, that's not surprising at all. So I'm so sad I didn't see this movie.
Instead, you had to fight to stay awake during Skinamarink, the audio version. Um, Undertow.
Skinamarink, the actual the visual with camera pans.
Lots of caravan. Yeah. Undertone is a movie from A24. And it stars a woman who's the co-host of a supernatural podcast. She's kind of moved back to her childhood home where her mother is because her mother is dying, and she's taking care of her, and she's waiting for her death rattle to take place. Because that's an audio thing, and we're going to have that audio of the death rattle. It's an important part of the movie, I guess.
Yeah.
Um, then she's also listening to these 10 recordings of things that have happened and been sent to her and her podcast co-host, who's not there. He lives in England. She lives in America. So they have to get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and to record the podcast, I guess, on his time. And the funniest part for that to me is they keep recording it 5 minutes at a time. And I'm like, really? Do
Right.
podcasters actually record their podcast 5 minutes at a time at 3 o'clock in the morning?
That was a plot device that I was like, first of all, my friend Toby just moved to Valencia, Spain, along with why does everybody go to Valencia, Spain? Anyway, but they've been doing a podcast for almost as long as we have, and or Hugh and Bob have, I guess. I've only sporadically been on it that long, but he's the one who gets up at 3 o'clock in the morning so they can record, but they do, two shows at a time plus an after show for their Monday show. It's like, you're not just doing 5 minutes. If you were like, hey, let's do 5 minutes at a time, I'd be like, you know what, Sean, go fuck yourself. It's for the next couple weeks. I still have to get up at 4 a.m. So not to podcast.
I know it's nitpicky because we're podcasters and we just do our show in one shot with no preparation whatsoever.
Oh, you don't?
And yeah, it just doesn't like, it's just a nitpick from people who've been doing podcasts to think you're getting up every day at 3 a.m. just to record 5 minutes and go, all right, we'll pick it up tomorrow. Especially when where they're like, they keep mentioning, okay, let's get back into character.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's like, how do you maintain a vibe doing this 5 minutes at a time? You don't maintain a vibe.
As someone who has done 2 or 3 different podcasts over the course of my adult life, you don't just get into character. You're just you. That's the whole point of a podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Joe Rogan is any different than he is on his show. I think
he's just as dim-witted wherever he is.
Yeah, he's a big dummy no matter where he's doing. It's like it. Yeah, and yes, I drifted off several times, and it was not just because I had been up for. I got 3 hours. My whole sleep schedule was messed up last weekend because I got a vintage Boba Fett.
Sorry, what was that? What is this urgent, important thing you did?
I got a $400 action figure for $75 at an estate sale that was 100% complete, and it was fucking worth it. Let me tell you. Yes.
Somewhere Josh is rising to clap for you.
Yes. Josh, if you're listening, I posted pictures. Yeah. And some other assorted vintage Star Wars stuff that I needed. So
if we did this podcast 5 minutes at a time, you'd never be able to do that.
Right? I'd be sitting in my car at 3 a.m. on a Friday waiting for the estate sale to open so I could go in and be first in line and get my stuff. It actually was very...
It's not the biggest problem with this movie. The biggest problem with this movie is just stylistically, I don't feel like this actor was somebody who could do a movie like this by themselves. She's a fine actor, but she's left all alone. Mm-hmm. Her mom is in a coma and dying, so that's not a character. And the only other character is her podcast co-host, and he's just a voice over Zoom or whatever.
Not a very sympathetic one either.
You don't think so?
No, he was,
He was like, I'll get on a plane and come sit with you if you need me to.
He doesn't mean that.
So did this movie actually come down on the side of, they got cursed in their previous episode and that's how this happened? Because that seemed to be what it was saying, is that like she dismissed this curse of a video that they watched in the previous one. And then that comes back at the end. And I'm like, wait a minute, this is all about that? Why are you showing us this one if that's what this is about?
Yeah, I came in as the movie was starting, so I may have missed just like the first couple minutes, but it was not just because I didn't get much sleep last week. It was when you said Skinamarink, that's what it reminded me of in the middle of the movie. I saw you after the movie. We didn't even know we were in the same theater. And you said that, and I was like, yes, that's what I thought that like several times from this movie, because it was so, they just panned to different things. And I felt like it was just like filling time a lot of the time. They were just
so many pans to like nothing,
to religious artifacts.
Yeah.
And I get that, your mother was very religious and she was very, she didn't think you were going down the right path or whatever. And she was hoping that you'd spend more time with her. And then finally you do, because she's dying. So it's like, you're not, but that's no, are you trying to give us Catholic guilt? Because I'm not getting that from anything that she's doing. I'm getting that from her being frustrated with everything that's going on, but not necessarily feeling guilty about the fact that her mother's dying. Um,
The audio
just like,
recordings that are at the center of the thing are just, they're basically just pure chaos. They're really
yeah,
these short clips of this couple. The boyfriend was, trying to catch his girlfriend talking in her sleep because she started talking in her sleep, and so he records them going to bed every night, and he captures various different sounds, and they start to hear noises throughout their house, and there's a baby crying, and it's unclear if they had a baby or she was pregnant or this was nothing they could
yeah,
hear. They just never any clarity on that, but it all begins to dovetail with our main character's story because she is pregnant and going to have a baby, and going to do so sometime after her mother is dead, and so there's guilt implied in that for sure. She feels bad that she might have a baby, she might get rid of it, um, but
and
she's
I have to
that
say too, the audio clips were like listening to Paranormal Activity,
yeah.
and it was not, it was very contrived. It seemed so obviously acted. They were acting, and I every time they were on and they were doing that, I'm like, ooh, spooky. Oh, what are they going to do now? It's like I didn't get there was no kind of being scared about it because it just seemed like they were really trying too hard to scare you
Yeah.
and they weren't succeeding.
No, there's a lot of it's just so much noise and chaos and panning to nothing. And you keep
Mhm.
like you're sitting there, you're searching the frame, going, okay, what's gonna jump out and scare me? And then most often nothing does.
Mhm.
A light
Yeah.
turned on upstairs, I guess, once she
And
keeps
when it,
ignoring the fact that there's like somebody keeps putting this religious statue back next to her mom's bed. And she's playing that off like I'm just seeing things or whatever. And
yeah,
somebody keeps turning the light on when she's not in the room. She thinks maybe her mom is actually getting out of bed when she can't see her, and maybe she is, maybe she isn't. But the movie is it's so wishy washy about that.
yeah.
It wants to
I
have it
get
both
that.
ways. Like she's getting up and she's doing things while the daughter isn't there, but then she's always back in bed just in time, as if she hadn't moved at all.
And I get that they thought they were trying to kind of build suspense, like was it the mom or wasn't not, but it didn't land. Nothing, none of the scares landed. I counted at least twice where they just cut to a black screen and then it's just noise, and that's how they ended it. And I was like, yeah, all I'm gonna do is look at a blank screen and go to sleep. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because your sound design just isn't that interesting. It's not really telling us much.
It's
And
not layered in the way that things are artfully layered and you have to pick things out and you want to see it again so you can pick it out. It's just all dumped at one level. There's no levels to it. It's just dumped on there, and we're gonna put a bunch of layers and we're gonna lump them all together and compress it all, and it just did not work.
and this is an A24 movie.
Yeah, like I said to you, what happened to A24? Neon is killing it. A24 is kind of not right now.
It's weird. It's a weird time. I don't know. I don't quite understand what they saw in this movie. I don't know. I really don't know. I, there doesn't seem to be anything to this. There doesn't seem to be much of a spine or much of a artistic draw beyond these endless pans to
Yeah,
nothing that the director is absolutely in love with.
and the resolution, such as it is, it it didn't it didn't bring catharsis for the character at all. It
Mhm.
didn't, there's no point to the end of the movie. It's not really, that I could discern. I mean, maybe I missed something, but I was just kind of like, there's no emotional catharsis for this woman. She just keeps
No,
getting it piled on and piled on and piled on, hit after hit after hit, and then like cut to black. And did they get thrown down the stairs and murdered? Or, we don't know because it's exactly the same thing that's happening on the tape. And yeah, it was so disappointing to me.
mhm. I don't actually know what happened at the end. That's like literally, I just can't even tell you. I don't really know.
Yeah.
Is she dead? Is she alive? What the point of it all was? Was she being warned by the tapes, or was she being set up by the tapes? Were the tapes the
Mhm.
future? I couldn't. It did none of it. All of those are possible, and none of them really are satisfying in any way.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I don't know. Just a very disappointing week at the movies.
Yeah, nobody wanted to go up against the Oscars. I get that. Although the reminders of him did do 28 million at the box office, so it did really well considering the weekend. But
Mhm.
yeah, I don't, just the no other movie wants to do that. And then, of course, we're going to get two movies that look really, really good this week, which is Hail Mary and Ready or Not. So that's fun.
Yeah.
Thanks for
I'm
that.
really looking forward to Ready or Not. I'm looking forward to Hail Mary because I listened to the book at the beginning of the year over the new year. And it was an interesting story, and I like Andy Weir. He did The Martian. He wrote The Martian. Um,
Mhm.
so he's got some actual space bona fides, I guess. So I'm cautiously optimistic about that. I hope they pull off the quote unquote twist in that, um, as well as he did in the book. So Ready or Not, I'm really looking forward to because it's got Sarah Michelle Gellar of Buffy and who was supposed to be in Buffy the New Sunnydale, but you heard about that, I'm sure.
They canceled it.
One man kept reminding Sarah Michelle Gellar and Chloe Zhao that he was not a fan of Buffy. It was not for him, and he didn't care one way or the other. So
What?
yeah, yeah. She Sarah Michelle Gellar went on record today talking about how this one executive kept telling her and Chloe Zhao that it wasn't his thing. He never watched the entire series before because it wasn't for him. And apparently, what I'm taking from all this is he was the one who was kind of voted down picking up the pilot.
Wow.
And then somebody leaked the script, apparently, which I haven't read it. I'm still hoping it would go somewhere. Um, but, somebody leaked it and apparently it's pretty good. So, yeah, I'm really, really pissed off because of Chloe Zhao working on Buffy the Vampire Slayer, one of my all time favorite shows. Come on.
Mhm.
So
All that money in development, just go, nah.
yeah, not my thing. It wasn't for me.
That's a
Yeah.
weird choice. That's a weird choice, man. I don't know
It's
how
like
many
Batman.
millions of dollars that was to develop that, but just to develop that and go, nah, never mind.
Yeah, it's like Batgirl all over again.
People are silly. They just don't know what they're doing. All right.
Mhm.
We talked Oscars, talked new movies that didn't work. Let's talk about a movie that actually does work and did win Best Picture and deserved it, because you'd never seen Amadeus before, directed by
No.
Milos Foreman and starring Tom Hulce and F. Murray Abraham in just one of the greatest stories that Hollywood has ever told. It's really just uh, Mozart's story is not even, it's not even really about Mozart. It's about Salieri telling Mozart's story, and the way that Mozart's life is such a perfect opposite land mirror to Salieri's life, and
Mhm.
just him being forced to watch the greatest art he's ever seen created and have it come at his expense is just, it's some of the most poetic, beautiful irony I've ever seen brought to film. It is absolutely no wonder to me that F. Murray Abraham won an Oscar for this, because I mean, he is incredible at like he puts over just the greatness of Mozart at the same time, as much as he's putting over how much he hates him. He hates
Mhm.
him so much. But he can't believe what he hears every time he hears him is the most transcendent, beautiful thing he's ever heard. And it's just, I
It's a
love that
begrudging
so
hate. It's a
much. Yeah.
begrudging hate because he loves his talent and he's so jealous of it that he doesn't really necessarily want to hate him, but he wants to destroy that so that he'll, by destroying that, it's like tearing somebody else down to shine your light a little brighter. And he plays that just like, I think everybody's kind of done that at one point in their life. And that feeling of such jealousy that you just have to put somebody down to make yourself feel better. And I think that that's what really, really works about that character, especially. Um,
Do you
I
have
have a
anybody in your life
confession.
who you kind of looked at and got that person's living the life I want? Because I feel like
Oh,
that's a big.
so
I think
many.
everybody's had the experience of like seeing someone who is in their field doing the thing that they love, and they do it so well that you're just kind of as at once you admire them, and the other way you're going like, why can't that be me?
My friend Joel, who I'm legitimately friends with, and I love the guy. He does some amazing artwork, and he's done so many movie covers and Blu-ray special editions. He did the Black Christmas Scream Factory Blu-ray, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's just that's what I want to do. And I've told him that's 100 times. He goes, oh no man, your stuff is just as good as mine. He's so cool and so nice, and I know it's not, but I appreciate that. But it's a different thing, and that's the thing
Mhm.
is, um, you know, nobody could ever be Mozart. Nobody.
Right.
Mozart and Beethoven are the god tier level composers. Um, and you know, Salieri was decent, and this movie actually, I found out later, kind of elevated his music a little bit because people wanted to listen to it. But um, he was good, but he just it's impossible to be Mozart. Like it's
Mhm.
impossible for me to be Drew Struzan. I
Yeah.
just, I'll no matter how hard I try, nobody is ever going to be him. And it's not just, copying his technique, because a lot of people have done that to lesser and greater degrees of success, but it's just something he had that he put into it. And it wasn't anything, I don't think, like when people say, oh, it's God, I don't think it's God because I don't believe in God. Sorry. But I think it's this innate gene that just kicks in, and nobody else has that particular gene to do what they do. And Salieri didn't have it, Mozart did. And that jealousy and the fact that, Mozart was a child prodigy and Salieri really had to work to have any level of success. Um, that creates a lot of jealousy. We see it nowadays in true crime documentaries where, the mom of the cheerleader who, and it's kind of the same story when you get right down to it. The mom of the cheerleader wants to succeed in her daughter's place, so she bumps off the competition. It's
Mhm.
a tale as old as time, really.
Yeah. There's a
And
great. Go ahead. Sorry.
and I was just to say, and that's where I think the heart of the story is just jealousy in
Mhm.
the presence of immense talent. So
There's a great real life example of this that came well after this movie, and that is Michael Jordan and Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen had the talent to be one of the all time greats. He ends up getting drafted to the Bulls to play alongside Mozart,
yeah.
the greatest to ever step on the court. And Scottie's always going to be second place, no matter what he does, no matter how great he is. He will always be second place, and something about his career always kept telling him he was never going to be Michael. Like, that's great, Scotty. You're still not Michael.
Yeah. Do you? Oh, that just I don't know why that brought this up, but I have to tell you, I want to know if you've ever heard this conspiracy theory. That
Huh.
remember when Michael Jordan retired for 2 years and then came back?
Yeah.
The conspiracy theory about that is that he was actually a very, very quiet 2-year gambling suspension.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Okay, I had never heard that until this week, and it was
It's very
oh,
dumb.
okay,
It's a very dumb idea because he retired because his dad died.
yeah,
His dad was murdered.
yes,
And
yes.
that'll cause trauma for anybody to want
I
to
was
step
just like,
away from.
what? How is that? That would have totally gotten out. So shut the fuck up.
Yeah. That's really it's a very silly thing. Very silly. But no, that's just I find that example so poignant because it's so real. It's so fucking real. Like, because after you see Scotty play by himself, and yeah, he is really, really good, but never Michael. And the way that kind of I feel like that dynamic is just so beautifully poetic. We look for things that are so symmetrical in life, and those are always those kind of the most beauty in the world ends up being somehow symmetrical. And it's perfect symmetry to have a man whose entire life he's desired greatness, and he sweats over everything that he does to be as good as he can possibly be, and he's reached a place of achievement, and then along comes this guy who is just better than him in every way, to a point where he feels like he's almost the only one who can see just how great it is, and that is pure poignant poetry.
Yeah. Yeah, so quick confession, I'd never seen the movie,
Mm.
I picked up the DVD at an estate sale, and I put it in, and I sat down, and I started watching it, and I was like, "Oh, this is an interesting place for it to start," because I know he had such a long and storied, you know, backstory, so I'm like, "Oh, they'll probably get to that later." I watched the last half of this movie first. I was like, "This movie's so short," and then I looked it up on IMDb, I'm like, "This is 2 hours and 35 minutes long?" No, and I looked, I'm like, "Oh, I just watched an hour of the movie." I watched the last hour of the movie before I watched the first hour and a half of the movie. So, I had to go
you,
back and watch
did
it
you get
in
this on
memento.
VHS?
No, no, it was on DVD, but it was a two-sided DVD,
Okay.
and until today, I did not have the eyesight to look at because it's just one of those DVDs with the label is, like, just around the hole,
Mhm.
and I could not read it, so I did not realize that it was I thought, "Oh, one side is, widescreen and the other side is, full screen." And I
Wow.
put it in and it was widescreen, so I'm like, "Oh, cool, I picked the right side the first time, cool." Yeah. So I watched it like the Memento version of Amadeus.
At the very least, you still got it. That's
Oh,
important.
yeah, yeah. I mean, and honestly, it works just as well. It's like watching, the Machete Order of Star Wars. Oh, yeah,
I adore this movie. Like we did this on the podcast over a decade ago, which made it feel all right to come back to it again, especially since you hadn't seen it. And
mhm,
that time when we watched it, it was like just a revelation. It just felt brand new to me, and just it moved me so deeply. I didn't quite know how to explain it then, and I still kind of don't grasp just how much this movie means to me. Um,
yeah,
it's truly, it's just, I just adore. I adore what Milos Foreman did. It's on top of it, it's a gorgeous film. Obviously, the
mhm,
music is transcendent, and I Tom Hulce is just playing this character so beautifully, just so oblivious, just so completely
yeah,
oblivious. And the fact that he can just sit down and write something in an hour that goes on to be one of the greatest things anyone's ever created, it is maddening and exciting at the same time. For anybody who's ever struggled to write something or to put together a piece of art in some way and you're just not quite nailing it, to see somebody just go, "Oh, I can do that." Done.
yeah.
Fuck
Well,
you.
yeah,
Fuck you so
yeah.
much.
And that's the thing is, like, there are times, and this is one of those things as an artist. There are times when you sit down and you just nail it on the first try, and then there are things where you just cannot remotely get your head around what you're supposed to be doing. And I felt like I've been in that position where I sat down and wrote a concerto in an afternoon.
Mhm.
Um, just just basically because something comes so easy. So yeah, I loved this movie. I thought it was beautiful. I thought that the casting was great. I thought, or should I say it was casted real good.
It's almost like casting directors deserve Oscars.
I know, right? Um, I thought Elizabeth Barrage was great. she's unconventional in the sense that, she looks like a real person and she acts like just the shit out of her part.
Uh-huh.
Um, most of these period dramas that get the women all have to look like Michelle Pfeiffer in Dangerous Liaisons. It's like they
Yeah.
have to be perfect. And she looked like a normal person who was all dolled up. And I got the impression that was, you know, her personality is what won him instead of, her. Not that she's in any way not attractive. It's just she's got an unconventional comedic look to her.
Yeah.
And she was. Remember when we watched the Fun House last year?
Oh yeah.
She
Hmm.
was the lead in that movie. And I completely forgot that because she just disappears into this one so well. Um, I loved her. I loved, Christine Ebersol's little tiny part as Cavalieri's wife.
Uh-huh.
Um, she brought a lot out. Yeah, I love the cast, and Tom Hulce. I don't think anybody else could have played this as well as he did,
No,
and he
definitely.
definitely deserved an Oscar nomination. Um,
It's an underrated part because it's not easy to do what he did, and he has to be he has to be just so wildly over the top the whole time and coming off kind of like a dumbass who
yeah.
happens to have this amazing talent. And it can be underestimated just how complicated his performance truly is, because he's playing
Mhm.
a character who's slowly going mad at the same time he's creating the most transcendent art of his time. There's a lot of layers to what he's doing, and
Yeah.
he does not get the credit he deserves, because I think it's because also he's playing opposite F. Murray Abraham, who's just giving every inch of himself to this, and it's just one of the single greatest performances in any movie ever.
Mhm.
Those conversations with him and the old man makeup, talking about telling the story, recounting the story. It just There's so much poignance to that, so much beauty to what he says and how he says it, and his choice of words, just this choice of way he pronounces things. I mean, the layers that he brings to that just in dialogue is incredible.
Yeah, if you ever have any doubts that Milos Forman is just an amazing director, look at the stuff that he gets out of people in this movie, because it is really something. And just the staging of the musical numbers. I, it takes liberties. I did some reading on it afterwards, and it took some liberties with the story, but it's just so well done that I don't care. I want this to be the definitive version of Mozart's life. Um, and somebody could turn around and make a 6-part mini series about it, and I would, even if it was the best mini series ever, I don't think I would enjoy it as much as this.
Yeah.
Because
There's
this was
something
just,
there's an alchemy to this that just turns to gold, just creates gold, because it's so perfectly it's just the pieces just come together and fit together so perfectly. Um, Peter Shaffer, who wrote the play, called it a fantasia of historical events
mhm,
in order to kind of to get his way around anybody claiming, oh, well, that didn't happen and that didn't happen. He's like, I don't care. This is fictional. it's
yeah,
a
yeah.
it's a fantasia of historical events, which I
Mhm.
think I want to use that more often, is calling things a fantasia of historical events.
Yeah, I mean
I think
that
that's what
is.
IMDb should call their trivia section, is a fantasia of historical events.
And it's one of those things where it's like there are certain historical movies like Marie Antoinette by Sofia Coppola, that are obviously style over substance in some cases, but the substance is there because of the style. And I think this is
Uh-huh.
one of those movies. Um,
Absolutely. People need to watch
that
that movie. You need to go back and watch Marie Antoinette. A lot of people wrote that one off without ever seeing it, and it's fucking brilliant.
yeah, I want to go back and I think I watched it years ago. I think I remember having the soundtrack because Susie and the Banshees were on it, but it's like it's one of those things where we we don't necessarily in the in this day and age need like 100% historical accurate thing to happen on screen.
Hmm.
I'm thinking of, as much as I'm at the point where I can't stand his work anymore, but Ryan Murphy,
Yeah.
he did the show Feud. Did you watch that?
No, but Ryan Murphy is just completely an irresponsible person.
Oh
He doesn't
yeah,
take
yeah.
he pretends like he wants you to think maybe this is how things happened, and he doesn't take care to portray what he portrays.
Feud got to the heart of the rivalry between Betty Davis and Joan Crawford, and I don't think that was anything with him. I think that was more with the performances. And
Hmm.
knowing enough about those women and having read the book that he was obviously inspired by, and several other books about and by both of those women, I the spirit of their rivalry was there, and the performances were good enough that I was like, you know what? I know that this is not 100% historically accurate, and I know they condensed a few things, but I enjoyed the performances enough that it doesn't matter. And that's how I kind of like my history on of Hollywood and entertainment, I guess.
And for something like Feud, I guess that's like it's not going to harm anybody if you fictionalize a few things. But then
Yeah.
he did the Ed Gein story recently, and
Oh,
he
yeah,
took a human being who had just absolutely nothing to do with what Ed Gein was
yeah,
doing in his life, and made her like the ultimate villain of the show. Like she was the
mhm,
reason why he did everything, and she was aware of that. And it's like, no, that woman was barely involved in his
yeah,
life. She didn't really want to have much to do with him. They happened to have dated. Maybe we don't even know that
yeah,
much about their relationship, and he puts the whole show on her back, and it's like that is just
yeah,
extremely irresponsible.
yeah. I have not watched any of his monster shows because um, I've listened to enough true crime to know how he is about his storytelling that
Mhm.
I just know he's doing it to get naked young guys on the screen. Yeah.
He's secretly like a very well connected David Dakota.
Well, I mean, like honestly, Charlie Hunnam looked enough like Ed Gein in some of the photos I saw, but I just had no desire to see it because,
Hmm.
um, there was I actually made a meme out of a meme. There was a meme going around about 2019, I think, and it was the guys that are in his shows, and it was Wes Bentley and Cheyenne Jackson and Matt Bomer and Finn Whitrock and the guy from New Girl, Max Greenfield.
Hmm.
And it was like, I think it was a black woman on Twitter who said, "Are these all the same person, or what?" Like name one of these guys or something like that. And I thought it was funny, but my thing was, I used that photo and I said Ryan Murphy announces the cast for his limited 6-part series on the Black Panthers. And every time he does a new show and he puts somebody like Kim Kardashian in it, I trot
Oh
that
fuck!
little gem out because it's so he is he just wants to see these guys naked. It's just that simple. But that's why I think I like Feud because there wasn't there wasn't any of that. So yeah, I like that. I like the way that Amadeus does that in that it's loosely based on rumors and stuff that we can't know because it was hundreds of years ago,
Right.
and it ups the drama and the stakes a little bit by you know making Salieri this pious religious person who believes that God endowed him and others with these gifts, and he's so appalled that God would give someone so vulgar as Mozart these gifts that he thinks he possesses as a gift from God, that at the end he just decides that he is God. And I just love that, I absolve you, and I'm just like, he's absolving himself, and I fucking love that.
The symmetry is so perfect that there's just no possible way that could be that true. Like
Yeah,
because life is rarely ever that ironic or poetic to give you that kind of perfect symmetry. Like not even Scottie Pippen, Michael Jordan is a perfect Salieri Amadeus story, but there is no such thing. Hollywood keeps trying to make these things into symmetrical stories. If you look in the IMDb trivia section of any 80s movie, they try and tell you these stories that are just perfectly ironic when no, not really. You're just making that up.
Yeah. Well, we
you want this to be a perfect thing, and it's not.
Yeah, we want to see patterns. That's why, when somebody dies in Hollywood, they're like, oh, there's going to be 2 more. And then if there's 3 more, they're like, oh my God, there's going to be 2 more. People die every day. I'm sorry. But, it's that, people want that symmetry and that pattern, and Hollywood loves to give it to them. So,
and in this case, it's perfect. In this case, they made it work because it's absolutely, that symmetry is what makes it so beautiful.
Yeah, I'd like to get the Blu-ray of this so that I can watch it all in one spot, one shot. I was like, oh my God, I just fucking did that, didn't I? Holy shit.
That is wild. That's that's something that can't happen today. I was like so confused. Like how? Like what? How did you manage? Did you not rewind it all the way? Yeah, kids, you used to have to flip over the DVD to watch the rest of the movie.
Especially if they were over 2 hours long, they would split them up.
Mm-hmm. You had to watch side 1 of Titanic and then side 2 of Titanic.
Mm-hmm. Or disc
and then
1,
side 3 of
2.
Titanic.
Oh my God! Why are there a bunch of other Titanic movies on here? Nope, it's just one movie. It's just 16 VHS tapes. It's like carrying an encyclopedia around.
Nothing more frustrating in the world than working at a video store and having to stock Titanic tapes, and they're just these double-sized VHS, and you're just like, fucking piece of shit won't fit on my goddamn fucking phone. Coming off the wall.
Yeah.
You're somebody who has visual symmetry issues. That's a problem.
Oh, definitely. 100%.
It's like when somebody sent you an odd number of a new release, and it's like they sent you 3 copies. What the fuck am I supposed to do with 3 copies?
I guess I have to rent one myself just to make 2.
All right. Next week, we've got Ryan Gosling in Project Hail Mary and Ready or Not 2. And Jeff is going to come up with a classic right now on this second.
I have an idea, but I have to see if I have access to it. So I'll tell you if I have access to it, and then I'll tell you for sure. But I'm pretty sure
I was just doing that as a joke anyway.
I know. Well, last week I did, or the week before I did with The Bride, because that was easy. That was like, well, I mean, duh.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't we do that for The Bride? And you know what? I've actually had people who have, through word of mouth, have started to go see The Bride. We talked about how good it was and how it was going to die a slow death. Yeah. Actually, I got 4 people who I told how good it was and how much I loved Jessie Buckley in it, and they've gone to see it and reported back to me how much they absolutely loved it. So I'm like pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I'm happy. Like it hasn't taken on a life of its own as like a meme for failure, which I was worried that might happen. I've not seen it. Basically, no one's talked about it since it flopped in the first weekend. It's kind of gone by the wayside in terms of social media conversation, which probably had a lot to do with the Oscars. But still, I was worried that it might become a meme of people saying, "Oh, it's so bad," like they did with Wuthering Heights for several weeks. Which, Wuthering Heights is bad, but like I think we might have overdid just how much people wanted to talk about hating that movie.
Yeah, I mean,
and I thought that seemed like what might happen to The Bride, which I'm thankful it didn't happen.
No, I think everybody who actually saw it, I mean, it wasn't a lot of people who saw it, but I think the people who did see it, if for no other reason, liked it because of her performance in it. And I had somebody who I was talking to after my surgery that said, I saw that movie and I saw that she won the Academy Award the other night, and I feel like she could have won it for this too, because she's just it's such a great performance. So
It's so many people just there's so many people who come out of a movie like reminders of him go and try to defend liking that movie for some reason, and yet they won't even try watching The Bride. They'll just go, no, that's too much for me. It's
yeah. Don't challenge yourself at all.
I would think just watching The Bride, you have to respect how ambitious it is and the artistry of it. You can't deny it's ambitious and artful, regardless of whether you understood the story or not.
Yeah. Yeah. How much do you hate Chevy Chase?
A lot. Why?
Because I had an idea. First I want to know, have you guys done The Game as a classic?
With Michael Douglas?
Yes.
No, never done that one.
Okay, that was my first pick. So if you had done it recently, then because we're doing a game of Ready or Not hide and seek, let's do The Game.
All right, what was the Chevy Chase suggestion?
Foul Play.
Yeah, no. I feel like I might have seen that one recently, and yeah, no.
Fair enough.
All right, Jeff. Next week.
Next week. See you later.